Hello and welcome back to the YouTube channel. NHL has been out for almost 3 weeks. I've already put up my offense video and now it's time for defense. This is my specialty, rush defense, cycle defense, and I'm even going to teach you about the breakout. These tips are going to be essential to helping you beat players in Hockey Ultimate Team and move up those division rankings. Especially with Hut Champs being released on the day I record this, these tips are going to help you get some really good rewards that we just haven't been getting so far in the game. So defense is going to win you games, which is going to get you rewards, which is going to help your team get better. Defense is the basis for all gameplay in NHL 25. Let's get right into this. First up quickly, we are going to go through my strategies. So my forecheck is a 1-2-2 aggressive. That way I can apply as much pressure as possible, preventing the offense from gaining speed through the defensive and neutral zones. I'm trying to force them to make plays with no speed, easier to get the puck that way. 1-2-2 blue, I want my defense up at the blue line to try and prevent them from getting to my side of the neutral zone, because honestly, games are won and lost in the neutral zone, and if you can cut off those passing lanes before the offense is able to generate speed through the neutral zone, you're going to have a much better time at defending the rush in particular. And if you can defend the rush, it's easier to prevent people from setting up on the cycle. Once it's harder for them to get into your zone at all. So 1-2-2 blue really helps for me. My trap and forecheck, I change this throughout the game, but I typically start it at 2. That way it's not exactly in the middle, it's more on the trap side, but if I need to, I can switch to a player and be aggressive. I do contain puck and collapsing, and in a D2D meta that might seem weird, but I believe that it's better to cover the slot and attempt to block a D2D as opposed to actually just taking away the lane entirely. If I want to take away the lane, I'll do it manually. I don't want my AI trying to take away the lane because the AI are often stupid. On tight point, I still feel like if a player moves the puck from low to high quick, even on tight point, you're gonna give up the D2D one-timer. And if you're not going to block the pass for the D2D, there's no point. Just block it. You'll be able to block it easier on collapsing contained puck than you would be able to on tight point, for example. Of course, the passing lane will be easier to defend, but again, I feel like unless you're defending it manually, even on tight point, it's easy to get those D2Ds. And for those of you wondering why I'm doing contain puck and not protect net, it's because contain puck sets you up in a box +1 setup, which allows me to switch to the +1 and attack where I want. Also, it keeps the players between the puck and the net. On protect net, they do collapse really heavy, but it does sometimes feel like when they collapse on protect net, they will also sometimes collapse below the goal line. On contain puck, your defenseman will always stay above the goal line, and you can't score from below the goal line unless you're super lucky. You're always going to score from above the goal line, so I rather my players stay between the puck and the net above the goal line, and of course collapsing so I can block those D2D one-timers and prevent stuff from happening in the slot. And then also I want to go over again for breakouts, because I do believe breakouts are super important for defense. 3 high leave zone early, it's going to allow you to take the pucks that you get back on defense and transition up the ice quickly, because a lot of the times on defense what ends up happening is players will sit back, get a line change, and all of a sudden they're attacking 5 people. No, once you're done with your defense, you need to break the puck out quick. That way you not only you're going to be able to set up more offense, you're going to get the puck away from your net. You can't afford to give the puck at the blue line, because if you do, it's going to lead to a lot of goals against. So make sure your breakout is effective. And on 3 high leave zone early, your two of your forwards are going to push their defenseman back, which is going to give you a lot more space on your side of the neutral zone too, allowing you to actually get the puck deep, which is going to help you play more defense and get in on the forecheck. So these are my strats. First up, let's talk about rush defense. So on this play, the defenseman takes the puck, gives it right to the center. He goes for another pass to the winger, and I cut it off. So let's break down this play. He's going to win it back, and he's going to send it directly to his center. Now, I'm going to forecheck you immediately, and the reason why I'm going to forecheck is because his players don't have any speed to go through the neutral zone, or go through the defensive zone. So I'm going to apply pressure, hoping that I can get to the puck quicker before he can pass it, knowing that even if he does pass it, these 3 players do not have a lot of speed going through the defensive zone. And also, there's 3 players on my team and 3 players on his team, so we're evenly matched. So I feel very confident in this. Because there's 3 people, I'm eliminating this defenseman from the equation. He's too far back, and if a pass goes to him, it gives my forwards time to come back and back check. So if he wants to succeed on this play, he needs to break in on a 3-on-3. Now, when he makes this pass, I know that it's his only option because he's slow and also he's the trailer. You never, on a 3-on-3, you never really want to go in with the trailer unless you can beat the third forward for the defense. And the reason why that is because the wings have so much space, and typically defensemen defend between the dots because that's what you should do. You should defend between the dots because chasing to the outside often leads to chances against. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and prevent him from gaining speed through the neutral zone, knowing that this pass is eventually going to happen. So if I can, with my defenseman, prevent these two players from gaining speed and going through the neutral zone, I know that he's going to have to make this pass anyway, so I can cut off the lane. So once I know that realistically this player is the only option because there's two players on my team on the left blocking any passing lane. Once I know that this player is the only option and he doesn't have a lot of speed, I can square up to him and intercept that puck right away. So again, I start squaring up with the player because I know that he's the only passing option. I get into that lane and I intercept the puck. Also, on offense, right? A big thing is you need speed to go through the neutral zone. If you don't have it, it makes it a lot easier for the defense to predict things. So for me, it's really easy to predict things when your offense doesn't have any speed going through the neutral zone. So if you can catch the offense with no speed, it actually makes it easier for you to read the passing lanes. This play is another example of how back pressure from the AI can actually provide you with a lot of defensive coverage off the rush. This is very similar to the play that I just talked about. Watch as I realize he only has one passing option, I cut off the lane, and then I immediately transition back up the ice. Now on this play, I have two back checking forwards who are, well, this one is applying pressure to this man. This one's going to come back straight down. The issue that McSteamy has is that he's breaking out on the side of the puck, but on the weak side of the ice. If you look down the middle, there's more players on the left side of the ice for him than the right. So if he wants to make a safe pass, his only option is this player. So as soon as line A provides any back checking pressure, McSteamy, he's going to feel a bit anxious with the puck and he's going to send that pass. That gives me the cue, because I've stayed up with Pronger to try and block this lane. Once he kind of recognizes that this player isn't available, his only option is going to be to the guy on the right. So I'm going to quickly player switch to Riley, and I'm going to step up, not only again to prevent him from picking up speed, but to try and take away that pass first. My AI steps up, I have the back pressure, I'm able to step up with Riley, intercept the puck. And this is why 1-2-2 red is so effective. If I was on 1-2-2 blue, my formation would have been one player here, two forwards here, and then two defensemen here. Riley would have never had the chance to stop this rush here. Games are won and lost in this area of the ice. And I know that sounds weird. However, if you are defending and you can prevent a team from moving the puck in this area of the ice, just across the blue line and on your side of the neutral zone, you're going to win so many games. So for me, it helps being aggressive. I'm trying to prevent people from even getting to this area of the ice anyways. A lot of people, when they move up the ice, they do not have enough speed. So it's actually very easy to play in a 1-2-2 blue, simply because your defensemen are there to pick off any passes that might go through the neutral zone. Riley can step up and be aggressive. I get the puck, I turn off, and it's an immediate breakout. So kind of the same play. It's about cutting off other passing lanes and forcing your opponent to only have one player to pass to. And then once that becomes obvious to you, you cut them off. Again, I cut off all the lanes. He has no passing lane unless he wants to reset, which I'll let him do. He can reset all he wants. But once this player becomes his only option, I can then step up and either intercept the puck. If he gets the puck, I can hit him, I can poke him, I can run into him, set a pick, and let the puck go all the way down the ice. It's just about risk management and blocking off all options and then attacking the one option you give them, because every player is always going to have one option. If you can cut off every other option, it makes them so much more predictable and it makes defense so much easier. In my offense video, I talked about my slider being on 10 for energy efficiency, and a lot of people were wondering why I would do that, because it might cause your players to be slow. Well, it doesn't only help on offense, it helps on defense too. On this play, I lose the puck, and immediately my forwards are back checking. They supply enough pressure, and I'm able to make a nice poke right at the blue line. So on this play, I give up the puck, and immediately he wants to move up the ice. It's kind of a mini 4-on-2 at this point. But because my defensemen have gapped up really close to the red line, and they're not back here, so there's not a lot of space for the forwards to move, they can't pick up full speed through the neutral zone. They got to be kind of slow. So with that being said, I know that his only option is to this winger, because this winger has the most space, and he's right-handed, so he can protect the puck along the boards. Therefore, he's going to pass to this player because he thinks, oh, I need to pick up speed somehow, so I need to go into as much open space as possible. I've cut off this side of the ice with Martin. There's back-checking pressure, so it's hard for him to turn around. He needs to move up the ice quick to try and get ahead of my back-checkers, so this is going to be his only option. He makes that pass, and immediately I'm trying to cut off this inside lane. I don't want him to try and deke around me and get to the net. I know Luke Martin is there for back-checking support. I know my forwards are there for back-checking support, but I'm trying to give him so much space on the outside that he has to take it. I'm trying to give him so much space on the outside that in his brain, it's like it's the only option. It's obvious. I'm going to take the outside. If you give a player a 50-50 option of either going to the outside or going to the inside, a lot of players are going to go to the inside because that's the more dangerous area. But if you make it painfully obvious that you are covering the inside lane, they're going to take that outside lane all the time, and then that's when you can attack. He's a right-handed player on the right side. He doesn't really have a cut-in lane. He goes for a deke here because he knows I'm going to try and bottleneck him up at the boards. So he's going to try and deke. I'm not going to attack too much because I'm trying to defend between the dots. He goes for a deke, and I'm going to poke him. Goes for the deke, I poke him, pick up the puck, instant transition up the ice. So again, I'm cutting off his options. I'm giving him one option that is so large, so obvious to take, that he's going to take it every time. And then when I realize that that's his only option, then I cut him off and I attack defensively. I'm going to give you the space, I'm going to make you feel comfortable, and then the moment I feel like you don't have any options, and you've kind of tuckered yourself out, or you've put yourself in a bad spot, then I'm going to attack you. He goes for the deke, I poke check him, and that's just picture perfect rush defense. I always say when playing defense that context matters, and that defense is a game of risk management, and this play will demonstrate that perfectly. So he makes a really good breakout pass past my first defenseman, and he has a one-on-one situation. Notice how I stay in the middle of the ice the whole time, and also I'm giving him his backhand. Players are not very dangerous on their backhand. Unless he can cut to the net and get to that far side post here, he's not dangerous. And when he cuts and tries to get to the far side post, he would be on his forehand anyway. So I'd be able to poke him because he's bringing the puck back across the slot. But I'm giving him the backhand all day. I don't want the puck here. I'm waiting for my players to come back and help me set up, because in this case, it's a one-on-one. There's so much space that I know that it's going to be hard to stop him off the rush. I'm going to have to just hold him off, live to fight another day, and then try and get the puck off the cycle. So again, I give him the entire outside. I give him the backhand. He's not dangerous, especially on his backhand, on his right side, my left side, because the backhand is going to the outside of the boards. Not dangerous, not dangerous. He doesn't even get a shot off on a one-on-one, and then he's going to set up. He's not going to really pass it. He's moving back and forth. I'm going to try and match him, and eventually he gives away the puck. So we turned a one-on-one situation where if I had been too aggressive, he could have cut over top of me and gotten a chance, because that's also what I'm trying to do. There's a reason why, even though I'm defending the lane, I'm not here. It's because I'm also trying to block the lane to the inside, while also recognizing that I can just beat him to this post. So I'm simultaneously trying to beat him to the net while also preventing him from cutting in. So I'm just going to give him the outside the whole time. He does not have a forehand shooting lane, and he doesn't even get a shot off on this possession. So it's all about risk management. A player's way more dangerous on the backhand than the forehand. Give someone the backhand, and also you don't need to get the puck right away. A lot of players are way too anxious without the puck, and they feel like, well, if I don't have the puck, then I'm gonna lose. No, just because a player has the puck and, it might seem like a dangerous situation, force them to show you that they're dangerous. Take away their most dangerous option and force them to adapt around it. You'll win so many more games just by taking away the most dangerous spots of the ice and forcing the offense to prove to you that they can score in any other way. Last up for rush defense, I want to show you how you can be aggressive even if there's players behind you, even if there needs to be a threat. And again, this is about context and risk management. So on this play, Lindros takes the puck, and I notice immediately Rocket Richard is right here. Now, the issue that my opponent's going to have is that because Richard's already at the blue line, he can't actually pick up any speed unless he's going this way. Unless he's going his left to right or our right to left, he is not going to be able to pick up any speed. So as soon as Lindros crosses here, and because Richard's moving this way, I can switch coverage with my defenseman. Pronger's going to back up. He's going to eventually switch onto Richard because Richard's going to go across the middle of the ice, which then means I can step up with Riley and attack Lindros. Now, you might be saying, well, if you step up too early, wouldn't there be a breakaway? No, because Richard does not have enough momentum or speed picked up to get to the net before Pronger or Riley can. And I know that kind of sounds weird, but because Richard is moving slowly and coasting, if he were to get the puck, he would then have to accelerate through. Pronger is already moving backwards and he already has speed picked up. This pass isn't going to happen for a little bit. So by the time Lindros actually would have the space to make a pass to Richard, Pronger would already back up. So watch how I notice Richard going through. Pronger is already on this side of the neutral zone, so I know he can back up and switch coverage. I'm going to attack his backhand. I attack him. As you can see, Richard and Pronger converge, so that pass would have never worked. And even if it had gone through, Pronger would have been able to at least try and back check and get the puck back. I know there's a speed discrepancy, but again, Pronger had the momentum going towards the net. Richard didn't. Nice loose puck off the poke. He's still in a good position to pick it up because I'm on my backhand. He's on his forehand. Then I'm going to stick lift. The stick lift is such an underrated part of this game. If you are in a position like this, where your opponent's stick is out towards the middle of the ice, you can stick lift them preemptively and pick up the puck. So always watch that stick, especially if you're going in for a loose puck battle, whether it's off the cycle or off the rush. If there's a loose puck and your opponent's stick is aimed and targeted towards the middle of the ice and isn't along the boards, and you don't have to stick lift across their entire body, go for a preemptive stick lift, take the puck, and then it's instant transition up the ice. That's how you play rush defense in NHL 25. Next up, we're going to talk about cycle defense. And cycle defense can often be very daunting for folks because a lot of the times you can feel like you're playing perfect cycle defense and then your opponent keeps getting the puck back. This is one of those instances, but it's also a reason why risk management skills are very important in this game. So Canuck's going to take this puck in. I do not attack him until he goes on his forehand. I'm trying to cover his forehand, and then I'm trying to cover the D-to-D. Again, I keep trying to cover his forehand, and he's not getting any good chances. He gets one D-to-D here. It's a red. It goes off the post. He gets the puck back. He's going to send back up the point. I'm going to cover the D-to-D shooting lane, not the passing lane, because I'm already too deep into the zone. He loses the puck and goes up. Now, this breakdown is going to take a little bit, but let me explain to you exactly what I'm thinking. On this play, Makar is coming in on his backhand. The most dangerous player in my mind is actually this player cutting to the net, but Gulli is close enough to where he can gap. Because he's on his backhand, cutting across, he will be on his backhand on this side. So he's a right-handed player on his backhand on the right side, which means he's not going to have the angle, even if he gets into this area, which typically, if this was someone's forehand, this would be a dangerous spot to shoot. But because it's the backhand, it's not. This is why I'm talking about how defensive context matters. Just because a player's in a quote-unquote dangerous spot of the ice doesn't matter if they're not on their forehand. He's going to hold this puck. Notice how with Kyrou, I'm giving him this lane all day. He can have this lane because, again, he's on his backhand. I trust my players to be able to collapse on contained puck collapsing. And I'm just going to let him have the backhand lane. I'm going to try and cut off that forehand. As soon as he cuts off the forehand, I attack him. He loses the puck. He gets it right back with Nash. Now watch as I switch to Makar, and I'm trying to apply pressure because I know that McDavid is going to cycle down low because he just lost the puck. Now, you might be saying, why are you playing positionless defense? Isn't that show a lack of structure? It can, but in a lot of times, you're just trying to fight to survive when there's a bad pickup animation or when there's a cycle. So I'm applying some pressure to try and force him out of the middle of the ice. I get him out of the middle of the ice, and now again, I'm attacking his forehand. Notice how I'm giving him that lane, even though it would be on it, just because it would be on his backhand. I'm trying to give him so much space through the middle that he feels comfortable cutting through, and then I would converge on him with like 4 people. That's kind of the idea. I'm trying to give him so much space to do something stupid, trying to get him to do it. He keeps it again, trying to keep it on the forehand. Here's a good example. He cycles back with Morrissey, and instead of me immediately trying to just cut him off here, I shadow his back or his front shoulder. I'm shadowing on his shoulder so that he can have the backhand lane all he wants, but the moment he goes to cut into the middle, Kairu, because he's right-handed and his stick's in his left hand, he's going to have the angle to reach and poke and prevent that. So again, I give him the backhand, forehand, he loses the puck. He's going to get a D to D here, and then he's going to get the puck back, and immediately I'm going to switch to Matthews, and I'm going to sit in this lane. The reason is because, and this is why I don't think tight point works. On tight point, even if a player moves the puck fast enough, they're going to get the D to D one-timers. They're going to get the D to D one-timers, even if you're on tight point. So I feel like you need to learn to defend the lane. The lane to the net is this. This is how he would score a D to D. He would shoot it back the other way. So me with Matthews, I'm going to try and be in this area. I'm going to try and be in this area and at least try to block it, because I don't want him to feel comfortable enough with Pasternak or with Makar to be able to walk down and just take a wrist shot. You don't want to just give up slot shots because you're scared of the D to D, so you need to find a balance. The balance is getting into a lane to block. Notice how I'm in the lane to block. My defense on contained puck collapsing, and this is why collapsing will help. It'll actually allow you to block more pucks. Notice how they're all in a lane. This lane is kind of dead, you know, like Makar could block it, Gulli could block it, Matthews could block it, so he doesn't feel comfortable taking that shot. There's too many people at the net. He's going to hold it, and McDavid is going to crunch him. McDavid absolutely goes after him. The AI is really good at hitting in this game. He crunches him. He's going to get this puck back, but he's going to lose it. So again, cover the forehand, analyze the risk, understand the context of the situation. Do not give up the slot, specifically this area, the home plate area. You don't want to give up the home plate area at all. Let them have the D to Ds, but learn to get into the lane to block it. On a D to D, they're always going to shoot far side. Block the far side lane. If they shoot it short side and it goes in, that's bad luck. It typically won't go in. Trust your goalie. You got to trust your goalie to make the easy saves. So block the far side D to D lane and then prevent anything happening in the slot. Here's another play of me keeping my opponent to the outside despite a dangerous looking cycle. So he's going to come in with one guy. He's along the outside. This is why I feel aggressive. I can go after him. There's only one guy to support. He swings it up to the half wall. I hold him, and now he's going to cycle it down low. Schweitz is a really good West player. He can cycle the puck down low, so I'm just trying to survive at this point. I make a nice poke. He sends a puck up to the point, and he never possesses the puck in that home plate area that I was talking about the entire time. He never gets the puck there. I force him to make that pass, and then I board hold him. And the reason why I board hold him is because I have a feeling that he would swing back up to the point to try and attack this area. He doesn't want to go down the wall, because even if he could cycle, Matthew's going to cut him off, Makar could cut him off. So he wants to cycle up. So I'm going to hold him, but he's going to kick it down against Matthew's momentum, which is very smart. He's going to take it, and now watch as I defend with Makar. I'm preventing him from cycling. I'm going to give him that lane. I'm going to give him the lane up here. And the reason why I would give him the lane up there is because, one, I feel confident this player can intercept a pass to this player. I know that it's a wide lane. If the puck gets to this player, he might score. But he's also not facing the net. So because he's not facing the net, in my mind, he's more of a threat to just turn back the other way and try and cut around than he is to actually just cut to the net. If his legs had been facing this way, well, then I know where his momentum is going. His momentum is going this way. So I do got to cut off that lane. But until he shows me that he's actually going to go into that lane, I'm going to defend here and try and take away this pass to Johnson or take away the cycle or whatever. I'm also going to trust my AI to make this interception because AIs are actually really good at making interceptions. Again, I take away that forehand lane. Now he's going to spin back on his backhand because there's no space into the middle because Kairu has this lane blocked and Makar has this lane blocked. Also, Kairu's going to block the pass too. Kairu and Makar, they're in perfect spots. Also, I know that Choice is going to keep the puck down low because there's no far side defenseman. He only has one defenseman to support him, and if he sends that puck back, I'm just going to rush him with 2 people. So he's going to keep that puck down low. Keeps it down low. I keep skill zoning with Kairu, I'm going to let my defenseman be a barrier so he can't cut in because there's two guys there, one of his own guys and one of my guys blocking him. So I know I don't have to chase him. I don't need to chase him because I already have a player there. So I'm going to try and beat him to this post in case he goes for a glitch wrap or goes for a wraparound. I'm going to shadow him from above the goal line, even though he's below the goal line, and I'm just going to try and match him going side to side. I chase him, and Makar chases him too. He doesn't have a lot of momentum because he kind of got stopped by my defenseman, so I feel comfortable attacking. Also, again, context matters. This player's a righty. If he was a lefty, he'd be able to get this pass, take a step in, and fire. Because he's a righty, it would take a lot more time for him to be able to pick up the puck and make a maneuver. Backhand shot's less powerful than a wrist shot or a forehand shot. Also, even if he makes the pass up here and then goes over here, this defenseman could potentially block it. And also because he's a lefty on the left side, or on our case, he's a lefty on the right side, it's going to give Kemper a better chance of sliding over and making that save. If this was a righty, it would have been a better one-timer. But because he's a righty, and because Brindamore doesn't have much speed, I feel comfortable attacking with my center here. Make a nice poke check, he gets the puck back, he goes for a pass to the point, and I intercept it. So again, throughout that, he had a couple dangerous chances, but he actually never made it with the puck into that home plate area, and it was because of my risk management skills. I was able to determine what the most dangerous areas of the ice were. I was able to take away his forehand, give him his backhand options, and then force him to make the mistake. A lot of the times, you're not going to be able to force the turnover yourself. A lot of times, the offense is going to make the mistakes themselves. If you give them bad options over and over, eventually they're going to make a mistake. Here's another example of risk management. He goes for a D to D, and I'm in that lane. When someone enters the zone, they're going to look for a D to D a lot of the times, especially if they're a forward with the puck up top. McDavid and I don't know who this player is. It might be Ovechkin. They're above the circles, so their only option really is to the defenseman, so Miller's able to block that pass relatively easily. Now I recognize he has a D-to-D option, but in a normal game, this would be a right-handed defenseman, and he'd be able to walk down and take a nice wrist shot into the slot. But he's a lefty, because his defenseman is actually down there. I actually think that might be Makar. His defense might be down here, or maybe this is Gonchar. Not exactly sure. But anyways, he has two lefties up at the point, which means I'm not scared of him taking a shot from this area of the ice. I'm really not scared. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to heavy cheat on the D-to-D side, on the D-to-D lane, and I'm going to give him so much space to enter the middle. I mean, look at how much space there is. This whole space is not occupied by anyone on my team. I'm defending the passing lanes here. Makar's defending this one. This player is going to be on McDavid. McDavid isn't really anything other than a deflection option or maybe a bumper option. And I don't think this player is a one-timer option at all. And Gooley's kind of treating him like that. He could block a one-timer if it happened, but I don't think even if it got through that Kemper would let it in. So I'm going to give him so much space that his brain tells him, yeah, take the empty space, take the empty space. And the moment he gets into this area here, then I'm going to converge down on him because he's a lefty. The only way he'd be able to spin out of pressure is on his forehand to the outside. Again, I would give him the outside. He can take the outside all he wants. I would let him cycle because I'm up 3-1. I would let him cycle for the remainder of the game as long as he was on the outside of the part of the ice. I'm just trying to prevent stuff to the middle. He takes all the space in the world. Because he attacks down with Gonchar, Brindamore is going to actually move up. It would have been a decent one-timer option, actually, but a lot of players don't have that recognition to hit someone with a one-timer as they're backing up to the blue line. But anyways, he comes in on his backhand. He's trying to power to the net. All four guys just converge on him. He has a guy on his back, so it's hard for him. He can't stop. I'm going to attack him here to prevent him from trying to get to this lane. Makar is going to attack him. Gooley's going to attack him, and he's going to lose the puck. Four people just converged on him because I gave him the illusion that he had all the space in the world. When in reality, the space that was afforded to him, I gave him on purpose because I knew he wasn't in a dangerous spot. Until he could prove to me that he could score as a lefty on the left side like this, I'm going to give that space to him all he wants. I don't want him to get so close to the net so he can do a backhand forehand or a forehand backhand. That's why I stop him in this area. It's because I don't want him to get a chance so close to the goalie, but I'm going to give him this space just because I know that he's not dangerous. He's on his backhand. Again, risk management is so crucial when playing defense. This is kind of rush slash kind of cycle defense. I can't really call it a cycle because he never makes a pass, but he does kind of set up with Makar. So he gets in the zone. I'm playing a nice gap here. He's a righty on his left side, which means that the shot is a possibility, but I know with Dangles that on a one-on-one, he typically likes to take the puck around, which is why understanding who your opponents are is also very important. Also, this player isn't open for a pass. There's too many people around. He's not going fast enough. So I'm going to try and prevent him from cutting into the slot on his forehand. That's why I'm playing a little bit up high. Force him on his backhand. So I give him all the space in the world on his backhand, and he's going to take it. I poke the puck off, and he's going to keep taking it. I'm going to apply pressure now. Because he's slowed down by using the right stick, I'm going to try and force him to the wall and hold him. I miss him, and now I'm just going to let him have the space. He can have the space all he wants. Again, he's on his backhand. He doesn't actually have a lane. He could come out and shoot short side on his forehand, but he's way too low. I would be more scared of a forehand shot if he was maybe up in this area, but he's really, really close to the goal line. I'm just going to give him all the space on his backhand. Even if he shoots, I mean, the puck is below the goal line. He's not dangerous, but I need to make sure I can beat him to this post, because the last thing I want him to do is be able to cut across the crease and then put it in the far side. So I have Matthews here, and I believe this is Caden Gooley here. Matthews is going to prevent him from being able to go around the net, because Matthews is just going to step up and hit him or board pin him or poke him. Also, in case Makar does get by Gooley, Matthews could poke over here, and then also Gooley's going to be there to block him at the post. So watch, he tries to cut in, Gooley stick pokes it, I poke it right at Leonard, he makes the stop, he's going to get the puck back, I'm going to preemptively jump him. So because he has all this space, and there's a defenseman wide open, and he could hit the D-to-D, I know he's going to turn up the boards because it's the area of least resistance. Most players do not like resistance, so they're going to go into the empty space, just like the last clip I showed you. So he's going to turn up the boards. I know this, so I'm going to switch to Makar, and I'm going to try and beat him here. I said before how a lot of the times when you're playing defense, the offense is going to make the mistake that causes you to get the puck. But when you're going up against a really skilled player or a player of your skill level, a lot of the times you need to pick and choose your spots to when to be aggressive. I know this is along the outside, but he doesn't really have an option. This player's too close to Gooley to be dangerous. Makar is right at the net. He doesn't have anyone in the slot, so I know I can attack him because there's no dangerous passing outlets for him except to that defenseman. So obviously he turns up the boards because that's the area with least resistance. So I'm going to cut across his back and I'm going to stick lift him. Now, he could have spun back this way, but there's enough coverage that I feel comfortable. I feel comfortable taking this risk because of the support behind me. That's what risk management's all about. So I preemptively jump around his left shoulder, I stick lift him, and then we transition back up the ice. Last cycle defense clip involves me making a mistimed step up with my defenseman, and then me realizing, okay, I got to cover the forehand side. Again, a lot of defensemen would sit right here, but that would give you the entire lane over to a really dangerous spot. Cutting in and then going back across is actually a very dangerous shot in this game. So I'm going to force him to the outside. I'm not going to give him a lane to the middle. He takes that outside lane. I'm also not going to blast all the way below the goal line. And the reason why that is because if I blast below the goal line and he beats me, well, then all of a sudden I'm on his back and I'm not really covering anyone. I'm in a dangerous spot. So I'm going to stay at the blue line, and if he decided to go underneath, I would either switch to my center or I would switch to my other defenseman and beat him at the post. But I'm not going to just blow by him, because if you blow by him, it's going to give him a lane back up into the middle, or it might give you a lane up top to a center. I don't want to lose my position. I want to maintain my body position between the puck and the net. That's all I want, just so I could block it or potentially block off the lane. So he can have behind the net all he wants. That's why I'm not going to chase him. I'm going to try and stay between the puck and the net. He turns up the boards. He's going to cycle. Now, most players would have chased there. They would have chased after this rim down here because they knew that this player would support them. So he might try and like pinch them. But a lot of the times, Division 1 players like to rim the puck, and then with this player, send it back to the person who made the pass, because this player usually will cut across the slot. So for me, knowing that, because I do that play myself, I'm going to shadow this player because he's actually the most dangerous player. He's the most wide open person low to the net. This player is covered by too many of my defensemen. Yes, this could be a one-timer option, but I'm confident that this lane, because this is where the one-timer would go, even if he took it. A lot of people don't like strong side defenseman one-timers, but even if he did take it, I'm confident that there would be a block somewhere I could switch. So this player is the main player that I'm focusing on when it comes to a pass. I let him shadow, and he's looking for him. You can see that he's kind of looking. Once he goes to his forehand, notice how I give him his backhand. Once he goes to his forehand, I poke, he's going to get the puck back. He's going to dance around with coffee. And now notice how I'm attacking his forehand side because he's now on his forehand. I'm going to try and cut off that lane, try and force him over here. He tries to walk into the middle because Line A was covering so far on the dot that it actually gave him the illusion that this space was open. He tries to make a final move to squeeze through because he doesn't feel comfortable going back to this defenseman with sack kick pressuring. He wants to try and get to the middle of the ice so he can either open up a wrist shot or have this guy back up, draw Hughes to him, maybe do a one-timer if Hughes doesn't go to him, and then if Hughes does go to him, you have a wrist shot, right? So he's going to try and get to that middle because it's the most dangerous spot on the ice. But the moment he switches to skating on his forehand, going up top here is fine because he was facing this way. I don't mind if you're facing that way on your forehand at the point. It's about being square to the goalie that I'm scared of. So he goes to skate into the middle, and I just stand in that lane. I pinch him with Line A so he can't skate towards my right, and all he has is through the middle. I'm going to poke him with sack kick. I'm going to get the puck. Dislodge the puck. Line A's going to get it, and we're going to break out. So again, risk management. Stick on the forehand. Don't overplay your cards. Force the offense to make the first move, and then when they do, you attack them. You give them one option. You know what the option's going to be when you're defending, and then once they exercise that option, you attack them because you know how to defend it. Now, I'm going to talk about the least appreciated part of defense, but the thing that's actually going to save you from committing turnovers and giving up a lot of goals, and that is your breakout. Your breakout is so important. So on this play, Leonard makes a nice glove save, and I'm immediately going up the ice. Now, because I'm on 3 high leave zone early, my 2 highest forwards are going to apply pressure to these defensemen, which is going to cause their AI to back up automatically, which means that a lot of the times the half wall is going to be wide open. The half wall is where the glass becomes shorter. So here's the tall glass, obviously you can see, and then once it becomes shorter, that's the half wall because the glass is half as tall. So that is going to be wide open because of the pressure that is being supplied up ice by my other 2 forwards. It's going to give me all the space in the world, and then if this defenseman wants to apply pressure, I can stop up, give Brendan more time to cut, and then it's a 2-on-1. If he doesn't, I have time to skate up. I give it to Brindamore, we go up the ice, I beat him to the net, and then I score. So that's a simple breakout, very simple breakout, but I'm trying to show it so that you guys can analyze how breakouts actually help you on defense, because if I give away the puck there, well, then he's going to get a chance back. So we're going to go over some breakouts here. Again, this was just a simple one, but I'm trying to explain the simple concepts of breaking out. So on 3 high leave zone early, a lot of your breakouts are going to be in quick transition. If you are too slow, you're not going to have as much support as you will if you move the puck fast. So on this play, I try and cover the trailer. I'm going to give him all the space because, again, he's a forehand shot on his passing side, so all he has is the backhand. I'm going to give him the lane until I think the backhand is dangerous. I poke it, I get the puck with Makar, and then I'm waiting. So Lindros is going to go to the boards here. McDavid is going to go through the middle, and the reason why that is, obviously Lindros is the left winger, Matthews is the center, and McDavid is the right winger. Matthews is applying the pressure up ice so that these 2 defensemen do not step up. As you can see, Matthews applies the pressure. The defense don't want to be caught in front of Matthews. They want to be behind him so that they can stop him in case he gets the puck. So those 2 defensemen are already out of the equation. Then Lindros is going to go to the left. Modano is going to focus on Makar and Lindros at the same time. He's going to try and remain square to block any pass that happens to Lindros. Lindros is going to cut to the strong side. I'm going to switch the sides of possession. He has 2 guys forechecked, so I'm going to wait for Lindros to draw Modano out to the left. You can see Modano sticks on Lindros. I give it to McDavid, and then now McDavid has all the space in the world to do whatever he wants. So you don't always have, like, even though I was quote-unquote quick with that breakout, you can still wait a half second for someone to get drawn out of position. Now again, Matthews is going to crash up. He's going to go up to take away 2 defensemen. Lindros is going to take away Modano by faking that he's going to be the option on the strong side, opening up that far side. Easy breakout, and then you have all the space in the world to pick up speed and try and score. On this breakout, the reason why the forecheck is so bad on this clip is because I was able to switch sides with my defenseman twice. So on this play, Luke Martin's going to pick it up on the right side of the ice, and he's going to transition to the left side. During that transition, you're going to notice his players are going to overload to the strong side of the ice. The strong side of the ice is where the puck is. He's going to overload there. Now, me knowing this, because this player is going to assume the pass is going to Wyatt Johnston, so he's going to collapse there. This player is facing this way. I don't want to make the pass here because the only place he's going to skate into is this defenseman. So I don't feel like I have an option, especially considering Caulfield is faster than Martin, which again is why you need to be aware of the player you're playing against and the players that you are using and that they're using. You need to have awareness. So I know Caulfield is faster than Martin. He's not gonna be able to hit me, but he could definitely poke me and outspeed me and get to the puck fast. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reverse it. As I reverse it, now, because his players want to be on the strong side of the ice, they're all gonna slam to this side. Pettersson is going to try to attack Miller. If he doesn't try to attack Miller, he's going to go to the boards. Caulfield is going to keep forechecking, and then these two defensemen are going to slide over. This defenseman will stay on this side of the ice. You might be able to see his feet up there, but he's going to be kind of here instead of here because he's going to remain staggered. Gonchar's going to go up here, but as these players slam, all of a sudden, because Pettersson is slammed to the boards here, it has opened up Hughes in the middle. Hughes is going to transition up the ice. Caulfield isn't going to be able to get to Miller before he makes the pass. This player is not going to be able to transition to covering Hughes in the middle by the time Hughes cuts up. It's going to open up Wyatt Johnston along the left boards, and it's just going to open up that pass. So watch as all of his players slam. Hughes turns up ice. Because his Wyatt Johnston was over here and had to transition all the way across the ice, he wasn't able to get into that passing lane in time. And then all of a sudden, I've switched the ice again. I've gone right to left, back to right, back to left. And now look at all the space that's been opened up for me. This whole space is wide open for me to take. He's not going to be able to beat me to the blue line. I'm going to have Hughes with me. I've opened up the entire left side of the ice just through a couple changes of the sides I was attacking. So again, you don't always have to break out on the first pass. Feel free to reverse, catch the defense transitioning from side to side. It's going to open up that middle lane. And then once the middle lane opens, it's going to open up the wings, because once you're in the middle, everyone's going to collapse on you. And if they don't collapse on you, then you have a straight lane to the net. So if you can go through the middle, that's obviously the best option. Don't go through the middle right in the slot. Go through the middle up near the blue line or near the high slot. And only do it if there's open lane. Don't force the play. If the guy's open, take it. If not, just go up the boards. But again, catch the defense in transition from weak side to strong side. Make that pass. It'll be an easy breakout. This is just going to be a quick clip, the final clip about the breakout, where I tell you why exactly you need to move as fast as possible with the puck. Now on this play, he gives up the puck, and immediately I need to move up the ice. Now, Martin is back skating, which means he's not going to be a threat to go up. But this is why you need to think one step ahead and think about changing the sides of ice. I see Beliveau on 3 high leave zone early, which means he's going to attack up. He is a breakaway option. I do not hit this pass, but the fact of the matter is I make this pass quick, and then I quickly saucer pass it into the middle, into open space. This could have been an offensive chance. I could have scored here with a better pass. The pass should have, if it was right here, it would have been a goal instead of right here where he misses it. But even if it wasn't a successful offensive play, I broke the puck out and I got it away from my net. There you go. It's a quick saucer pass as soon as I get it across the middle of the ice through, and then I can set up. It's not an unsuccessful play just because I didn't get a breakaway and go to the net. It's a successful play because I got the puck out and maintained possession. I don't have to make a direct pass for it to be a successful breakout. Beliveau got the puck at the other end. It's a good breakout. I got the puck away, and I'm generating offense. Quick defense to offense, the transition is how you win in NHL 25. There you have it. Cycle defense, rush defense, my philosophies, my breakdowns, and even breakouts, helping you guys get better at defense in NHL 25. I hope this video really helps you guys shut down some of the more dangerous opportunities in NHL 25, DDDs especially. The reason why I wanted to do more collapsing and contain puck was because I feel like eventually those DDDs are going to get nerfed a little bit. And then once that happens, there's going to be a lot of play in the slot. So I'm trying to teach you guys about the risk management and being proactive with your defense in order to stop opportunities happening to the slot, because those are going to be way more dangerous than DDDs soon. DDDs are always going to be dangerous in this game because of the perfect one-timers, but as long as you're able to get into the lane to block those, you're going to be fine. Once again, I'd like to take time to thank you guys for watching this video and my previous videos. I've been dropping more content. I'm going to continue to drop more content. I'm going to drop a things you're doing wrong in NHL 25 video. I was going to post that before this one, but some things came up and I need to restructure the video and everything. So that will be out soon as well. Again, thank you guys for watching. I hope this video helps a lot. I love each and every one of you. As my wife's people say, vis en la tâchera, and goodbye. Have a great day.